Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nikita if you're new here, and today I'm going to be talking about moving abroad and studying abroad. So the first question is, where are you from / where do you live? I get asked this a lot, but I am from England. I grew up in a town called Bushey, which is in Hertfordshire, and you definitely don't know what that is. So I normally just tell people I'm from London. Often people are not satisfied with this answer. They want to know why I'm not white, and so they ask, no, where are you actually from? I'm Indian. Happy Diwali. It's Diwali today. And I currently live in Stockholm, Sweden. Why did you move to Sweden? Well, I'm here on an Erasmus exchange. A lot of universities in Europe offer this, where it's like a semester abroad or a year abroad. And so mine is like my whole final year of university I'm doing here in Stockholm. I attend KTH, but my home university in London is Imperial College London, ICL, as it is randomly called here in Europe. Although nobody at Imperial actually calls it that, we all just call it Imperial. How are you finding Sweden? Yes, I like it. I love Stockholm. It's a really nice city. It's, I guess, a lot smaller and less busy than London, although Swedish people find it very funny when I say that because it's their capital and I guess they consider it to be quite busy. But I think it's pretty small and it's very quick to get everywhere. But yeah, I can pretty much get anywhere in like 20 to 30 minutes. It's really cycle friendly, so I love that. I feel like the people here are a balance between like really nice and minding their own business. If I'm out in some random neighborhood filming some leaves, literally no one cares. If I'm filming myself talking to a camera while walking on the way to the gym, no one cares. In London, if I film myself, people like stop and stare at me, do like a triple take, a quadruple take. Everyone just gives you space. Like no one has ever sat next to me on the metro. The cashier at the till never makes small talk. I love it. Can you speak Swedish? I can speak some Swedish. I guess I have to now. So people will always assume that you speak Swedish here, and if someone says something to me I don't understand, I say like, jag talar lite svenska, which is like I speak a little Swedish. I've also learned some greetings, you know, hey, hej då, tack. I can order food in a restaurant, ask where something is in a store. It's also been really useful to learn food names, because if you're doing the self-checkout and you have a single lemon, you will probably have to type that in. And so it's good to know some food vocabulary in Swedish. The two words I probably use most are ursäkta, which is excuse me, and förlåt, which is sorry. It's pretty British of me, so. My tips if you want to learn a language and actually like use what you learn is to buy a phrase book, because that will give you phrases that you can actually use. I think often if you start on like a basic Swedish course, you'll spend like the first couple of weeks learning very like random sentence structures that you'll never really use. You learn a lot of time like learning how to write in Swedish, and you know, like I would never need to write in Swedish really, apart from at the checkout. Whenever I go to a store, they always ask me if I want a bag, and the word for bag in Swedish is påse. I have no idea how to spell this, and I don't need to worry about it. Watch YouTube videos like how to order food in French, how to ask for directions in German. Stuff like this is really useful because they don't only explain to you how to order a coffee, they also explain what the cashier might say to you so you can understand what they're gonna say. I would say the most important tip is to not waste your time on Duolingo. But luckily for me, everyone here does speak English, apart from the Italian man that owns my favorite Italian restaurant here. But before I learned how to order food in Swedish, I was able to get by on some basic Italian. And when I say Italian, I just mean Spanish with random I's and E's at the end of words. Is there going to be an apartment tour or apartment makeover video? Maybe an apartment tour if some people are interested in it, but there definitely won't be an apartment makeover video, just because I quickly found out I'm one of these renters that is very scared to change the place at all in case I can't change it back. When my landlady first sent me a video of the apartment, I had lots of fun ideas about what I was going to do with the space, and then when I got here I realized there was actually a lot of furniture in here that I couldn't put anywhere, and so I just kind of left everything as it is. But I do have a really lovely apartment. It's been amazingly furnished for me, and I'm so just grateful to live here. Is there anything you found hard about moving to Sweden? There is really nothing too difficult. The public transport is really easy to use. It's an easy city to navigate. There's lots to do. I guess one thing that kind of surprised me is that Swedish people sometimes have difficulty understanding my accent. I think everyone here is used to an American accent, and so sometimes when I speak to my lecturers, I have to speak in a like fake European accent so they understand me a bit better. Do you have any friends? And how did you meet people? Yes, despite what my videos make it seem, I do have friends. The first person I met in Sweden was my lab partner for my machine learning course last period, who remains still to be my only Swedish friend, which is a little bit sad, but I'm grateful to have one. Initially, when I started classes in September, it was all online. I would meet the people I was doing my lab work with for my different classes in person. And so that's initially how I met people. However, in lectures, I would always have my video on, and one day on campus, somebody recognized me from having my video on in one of my classes, and that's how I met some other friends. And I think I mentioned in one of my other videos that I went on a cruise to Helsinki, and I met some really nice girls on that cruise. Since my second period has started now, sorry, I just realized I'm mentioning this thing called periods and not really saying what they are. In England, we just have 3 terms, like autumn term, spring term, summer term. Here at KTH, each term it's split up into 2 periods. So you do classes in the first period, and then you do some exams, which were last week for me, and then you start the second period, and you do your classes, and then you do exams at the end. So it's like 2 small terms inside 1 big term. And if you're not British, every time I just said term, imagine I said the word semester. But yes, now I'm in period 2, most of my classes are in person, and so I can just talk to the people who I sit next to in the lecture theatre. I guess any tips I have are just to reach out to people. In the beginning, no one really knows anyone, and so if you reach out to someone and you're worried about them rejecting you or ignoring you, I mean, they don't even know you, so they're not really rejecting you at all. They're just kind of not being adventurous, and that's on them. And I think this is my last question, but COVID in Sweden? I think for a lot of the pandemic, Sweden has kind of been seen as like a COVID utopia. There has really not been many restrictions or many cases. When I first arrived in Sweden at the end of August, there were a couple rules. I think one of them was no indoor gatherings of more than 50 people, which is why some of my lecture classes with more than 50 people in them were hosted online. However, at the end of September, this was removed and there were like no more restrictions in Sweden at all. There are still like remnants of a pandemic, such as like there's hand sanitizer when you walk into every store, there's signs saying keep your distance, but no one really wears masks here, not on the metro, not inside anywhere. But everybody really like stays away from each other here, and everyone is vaccinated, so I do feel pretty safe. So I think that is all from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this interesting, useful, entertaining. If you have any questions for me, you are free to put them down below in the comments. I do read all the comments. Oh, I also got to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, so thank you for this. I know a lot of my friends have been watching my videos for like 5 years now, and hello to my new subscribers. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!